Are you into Chuck Norris? I'll chuck you. I'll Chuck Norris you. Oh, wrong side, I guess. I messed up. I shouldn't have done that. But there you go. Now, let's talk about Chuck Norris. This is book. I think it's called Autobiography book, but now I'm sad because I bought it used and there was page missing. Anyway, uh, for those who are into Chuck Norris and are a fan of martial arts, of course you know who is Chuck Norris, right? But you know, oftentimes when we look at celebrities, either Jet Li or Jackie Chan or any famous people that we look up to, or anything like that, we uh, have a perceived notion, perceived things about them. So when it comes to celebrities, we make them like really fascinating, right? Of course, we make it big and bright. And who am I to talk to this guy, or who am I to, we put them far away above the pedestal that, and then we beat ourselves up, right? And we think that they're godlike and they're uniquely, vastly different from you. Well, they are vastly, uniquely different from you, but it's their thinking that make it so, right? Uh, they Successful people have a different mindset from the average person or the masses, if you will. Now, if you're into martial arts, uh, you know, I believe that even if sometimes we're in martial arts, we have a negative connotation or negative views of life because we're been bombarded by people who have a limitation with their own mind because of how they were raised and how they were born. And so this book, I wish now I want to rebuy this book. Make me sad. In this book, I just dug through that he went through a personal crisis that he had, and nothing could help him. He's a friend of the Bush family, but his wife was in pain. The chapter called "Wake Up Call," right? He had an emergency call. It's the Chuck Norris. Your wife is in the hospital. She's going to preterm labor. What? That can't be. Gina's only 23 weeks along. She is nowhere near the 28 weeks of full term pregnancy. I don't know about that, sir. All I know is that she told me to come to you soon as possible. I rushed to the phone and called the hospital. The operator connected me to Gina's room, and when she answered, I could tell that she been crying. Sweetheart, I'm so sorry. I'm not here there with you. Are you okay? I'm fine, but I need to get to the hospital right away. They have uh, to surgically close my uh, cervix to save our babies. I could tell by the quiver in her voice that Gina was trying desperately to hold her emotion in check. Carlos, I'm scared, she admits as she started to cry. I'm scared for her babies. And who's Carlos? Honey, I know it doesn't serve. I should know this. Honey, I'm calling the pilot right now. I'll be by your side just as fast as the jet can get there. We're expecting twins, a boy and a girl. Gina and I already seen them on the ultrasound machine in the doctor office, watching excitement like two young kids. Ourselves as baby move around, bumping to each other in uh, Gina crowd moon. We you named them already. Our little girl we named Danielle, and our little boy Dakota. The pregnancy has been horrendously difficult for Gina. She's given birth twice before, so she knew the ropes when it comes to being pregnant. But carrying these two babies have been heavenly load from the beginning. At some point along the way, we come close to losing the twins. So so he was invited for the president office in his mailbox several earlier, and this is what he said. There's nothing that could help him with he well there was nothing left to do but try to alternative transportation. He was they were desperately getting a commercial flight out, but to no avail. And he felt hopeless. You know, and he was the world karate champion and starred in more than 23 motion pictures, which he has been a hero. I had more recently started in Walker, Texas Ranger, his own TV series for 8 years, again playing the hero. Yet there was nothing that he could do for his wife. He earned millions of dollars over his lifetime and been friend to several presidents. Yet all the money in his bank could not help him now. And his friendship with men and women of influence was not enough. There was only one place who he could turn to, and he prayed, "Oh God, please take care of my wife and baby." So when it comes to people that you look up to, any celebrities or anybody, they have problems of their own. They have crisis. There are hard times. Now, what this brings to our awareness is that they are human beings too. Human beings have problems. Everybody have problems, different level of problems, different level of they're dealing with, and we make it into as if celebrities or famous people don't have problems. They have problems of their own, but they have different problems. So I invite you today. What did you learn today? Well, we learned that celebrities have flaws, pain, and suffering too. And so when we turn to like people always have a I was thinking of something but I can't think of anything. But maybe for example Jet Li, right? He's suffering and I felt really bad, right, for his suffering and he shouldn't suffer as much, you know. And I was disappointed, I didn't see all his action film, but now I know why. Because of his um he has to deal with suffering and it's hard to watch for me when I see Jet Li is like that. Jet Li is one of those guys who I like for his fast action uh, martial arts, wushus and stuff like that. When he played in the role of Wong Fei Hong, that's one of my favorite movies. Once Upon a Time in China, 2 and 3, um, and were all Wong Fei Hong, and even it was different. It doesn't have exactly like Hung Gar or the traditional Wong Fei Hong. It is still pretty good, but you can see how the film of Jet Li where they what does this have to do with Chuck Norris? Well, Chuck Norris is a martial artist, and so is Jet Li, right? And so is Jackie Chan, right? All these people who have done amazing things for you as the audience for caption in the motion film, they did a lot, but also their message is they're human too, and they felt sometimes vulnerable, sometimes broken, and they don't know what to do. And sometimes, most of the time, they look towards a savior, a God, a spiritual path. You know, in this book, in the last chapter, Chuck Norris said he felt like a presence of God always been there with him or them. And I felt the same way. When I was little, I felt the presence of God. Even if I was born into and raised as a Buddhist, I felt that, you know, most of the people think that Buddha is a god. He's not a god, he's a prince who was born in India, Nepal, right? But per se, that no matter who we look up to, you and I, no matter how we love them and They, no matter, I come to realize no matter how much we love them and look up to them, they still have hardship that they have to go through. You know why? It's life. Life is full of challenges and up and down and full of dramas, and we have to deal with things that we never expected to be. But people, incredible people, always rise to always meet, to always keep going when the going get tough, when I have challenges, when I have my hard days, when I just want to give up, I just don't want to do it. What's the point, right? And you need that little bit of encouragement. Maybe you need the maybe your friends isn't enough. Maybe like you said, and then you go in touch with the universe or the God, whatever your religious belief is. I'm not here to tell you whatever your religious belief is anyway, but they they turn to this omnipresent, omnipotent God, omnipresent, that they connect with. I've seen that everybody who have a hard time or who's going through crisis, they don't go, they get in touch with the God, right? The universe that created mankind. That in the tough time, they believe in faith and they believe that they're going to get through it. No matter for you, the audience who watching this, no matter how much tough days you have, or the dark days, or the unhappiness, you're going to get through it. You can do it, no matter what it is. You know, I remember I was just having a hard time with school. I'm having a hard time with life in general in my kid days, and I didn't know if I would become successful or not, or I don't know. But I think that God or the universe always helped me in the need of crisis, and I believe in God, but not in the way that people believe in God. But you know, I'm I'm always connected with God. God is always here with me, and it's not God is not separate from me, right? Close to my heart. Like most people make God too, out far out there, but God is always with you. It's near you. The universe is always near you. It make you when I have some trouble and sometimes, most when I was a kid I always prayed to God, even if I was a Buddhist. And when I have sometimes hard days I pray to God and the universe for some support, you know. Uh, and it's comforting. But I believe that, you know, that celebrities are they do incredible things than the average person, of course, because they have a different mindset, a different belief that they can do it. That's why for you, you gotta get different belief. And then he also talked about Texas Rangers, which I love. He said he was not gonna, he was gonna think about it. When I was in Israel filming the movie Hellbound in 1992, my manager Mike Erm- Ermy called and asked if I would be interested in doing a weekly TV series with CBS called Walker, Texas Ranger, a modern-day story of Texas Ranger with old-fashioned values who champion right over wrong. At first, I was reluctant, but Mike piqued his interest when he told that the series would be about a cowboy-type law officer fighting crime in modern Texas City. He said, let me think about it, Mike. I'm not really sure I want to do television. I said, I thought it would be a big gamble if the series isn't successful. It could adversely affect his film career. But the thought of playing a Texas Ranger intrigued me. When I was growing up, my favorite movie was Western. Their overriding message was the code of the West: friendship, loyalty, and integrity, values, and I thought ought to be reflected on Sibley's series. I decided to take the risk of jumping a movie career to television, and it became very successful. I'm glad that he took the chance to star or played the role in the Walker Texas Rangers because hey, as a child I love that show, man. I love that. So so no matter what, I think that everybody have internal challenges in their personal life, of course, and you I believe that the reason why I create book reviews or create kind of like a motivational, maybe also for myself too, and for you to get through it. I think that the world has enough dark time and dark days already, that we are bombarded by negative news and stuff that's real, but it's not good for people. And so, oftentimes, the rest of the world have a negative perception, negative point of views, or negative, a lot of negative. And most of the world are actually beating themselves up from believing if there's hope or if their dream is possible. Or most of the people don't have purpose in life, or they they lost the will to live. Right. And my message is keep on living. Don't lose your will to live. But also, if you have a will, if you lost your will to live, have a purpose. Try, um, because you need a purpose and meaning to really live. If you don't have that, then you will feel lost and you feel like nothing matters. But something, what matters to you and what purpose is, that's up to you. And my message is that everyone has a purpose, everyone has a meaning, but they choose to whether they act on it or not act on it until the end of their days. It's up to them that if they don't do the thing that they will regret it. So that's why I don't want regrets with uh, interviewing authors or experts because it is my chance to be able to at least to watch and listen and research and study how people behave and act, whether they're martial artists, and how they think, and because oftentimes, I bring, Dana Lee, Santos. She has challenges, and I'm glad that I connected with her. Uh, you know, but she is pretty amazing. She makes me laugh, and she, you know, it's pretty fun. Like Ron Balicki, and I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for all the authors who have helped me along the way, and also uh, for people who stick by me, even if I had hard time. Right? I fall off easily, very easily, and I get derailed and demotivated very easily because of my sometimes I do have a lack of belief in myself. I do have a lack of faith and belief that it can work out. And sometimes I feel sad and I, I just don't feel like it. But every time I keep going, people cheer on me. It's really cool. People are good. They're not evil. Um, if you listen to people talk, they care about people, even if people have different opinions. I did an interview today, and she cared about people. She says people are broken inside, you know, damaged, and so it's good to make people smile because as you grow older, when you're younger, you don't have that. Maybe when you're in younger, maybe you have this functional family, but uh, when you're younger, as you get older, you get more damage, and you stop believing in people, and you stop trusting in people. But they're good in people, I believe. Even if people betray me or whatever they do to me, I still believe in people. You know why? Because people are good to me. Authors and people and entrepreneurs, they're good to me. Even if there are some bad entrepreneurs, there are good, amazing entrepreneurs who you can believe in. And that's a way of me giving back because it's not easy. Because oftentimes we get hurt by an individual or we get hurt and by saying, but they're decent people, they're amazing people, right? You know. And so, thank you for listening to me for ranting, but I wish that book did. The man, that name is sad. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe to my channel. Watch my video. Bye bye.